Dear Mom, I wish you could be here to see Stasia and I playing in the final competition this week. We are so honored that the Dranoff Foundation selected us as one of the 10 semi-finalists. The panel of 7 international judges are of such high caliber, we are proud to play for them. Imagine, they choose us as one of the 3 final teams to play with the orchestra. You know how nervous I was about coming to Miami, not being comfortable with the language, not knowing anyone. But the American family hosting us here treated us as if we were one of their own family. We feel very much at home. And we love the audience. They cheer us on, it's like playing for friends. Whether we win the first prize or not, it has been an incredible experience. I miss you. Love, Diana.
The core of the Dranoff International Two Piano Foundation is the international competition. The final rounds are concert performances and open to the public. The Dranoff International Two Piano Foundation manages an academic outreach program, commissions new music, develops careers for young artists, and presents concerts. And the foundation has single-handedly revitalized the field of two-piano music in the United States. Loretta Dranoff founded the Dranoff International Two Piano Foundation in 1986 to commemorate the life of her late husband Murray and their years touring together as an international two-piano team, and in remembrance of where they started as young artists.
After Murray's death in 1985, I went back to reading his diary. He spoke about the fact that it would be wonderful at one point if there had been a two-piano competition. And that was kind of a bolt of lightning that started me on what I wanted to do.
She's a tough old bird, I'll tell you. She would not take no for an answer. You know, I came down here from Atlanta with AT&T, and a part of my responsibility was to find quality opportunities to associate with our brand. And we sponsored it for a year, taking a gamble, not knowing a darn thing about it. Went there, saw it, fell in love with it, and we sponsored it for probably 10 years, all the way through the end of my career at AT&T. It was something that we ensured was in the budget every year, just that good.
The Dranoff competition is now 20 years old, and I think, I won't go as far as to say that it hid its light under a bushel. That's very far from being the case, but I think it's in the last year or 2 or 3 the competition has become recognized as the leading international competition for two pianos in the world. There are preliminary rounds taking place all over the world, and so that builds up to the final rehearsal and concert week here in Miami. There's a tremendous sense of excitement, and I've noticed that the board and the friends of the competition and the audience members really have the opportunity to identify with the contestants, and they feel with them their hopes and their aspirations and their disappointments, and if they don't win, they weep with them. And there's this indefinable sense of a star or a pair of stars being born overnight.
What sets the Dranoff apart is Loretta's vision that extends beyond existing repertoire to create new pieces of music, commissioned especially for each competition. These commissioned works run the gamut from contemporary classical to jazz. To date, the Foundation has introduced 10 new commissioned works by the greatest composers of our time: Morton Gould, John Corigliano, Ned Rorem, William Bolcom, and Michel Legrand, Once you listen to this music, you realize that classical music is indeed alive today. The 2008 Competition Commission is written by composer Sir Richard Rodney Bennett.
When I was approached by the Dranoff Foundation to write an original two-piano piece for this competition, I was delighted because it's a medium that I really love. In the 40s, for example, two pianos was a fashionable medium. There were a lot of two-piano teams and a lot of two-piano recordings, and these days it's slightly different. It's not, I know this myself, it's not so easy to get work as a two-piano team, and so something like the Dranoff competition is extremely important because it's putting a medal on them. You know, this is the best. It's important.
One of the great successes that we have as a school district is the fact that there exists such great foundations like the Dranoff that are willing to come in, which are privately funded, and expose our students to the world-class music which they've been exposed to here. Is that it goes to not just our magnet programs where we have arts programs, but it also goes out into the community where we have the impoverished communities, where there are students that, if it were not for the Dranoff Foundation, would never be able to experience this type of art. Oh, it's fantastic. Like I said, I personally witnessed the quality of the performance, and it's one of the best musical performances I've seen in my life.
Whether it be for small, intimate performances or concerts in large, prestigious halls, Dranoff artists perform regularly in the years between competitions in communities all over the United States, Canada, and abroad. The tradition of keeping ticket prices reasonable was begun by members of Loretta and Murray's family and broadened by the generosity of private and institutional financial supporters so that this wonderful music and these artists can be enjoyed by everyone.
The Murray Dranoff Foundation, with worldwide recognition of its international piano competition, is a superb example of a cultural endowment gone well. It meets the tests of public policy, providing quality of life for Florida citizens, enhancing opportunities for cultural education for both adults and children, and adding to the economic vitality of the state. They raise the money. That's really the critical thing, to be able to independently raise the funds that make you eligible for state money. The fundraising relating to any cultural activity is important because as the endowment grows, the interest income grows, and there's more funding for whatever the object is, in this case, the two-piano competition. But we deem it to be an investment. This is a huge part of economic development, to have cultural offerings. We've seen it time and time again. And the Department of State has done, along with the Florida Arts Council, an economic impact study which shows in each area of our cultural efforts that the return on investment far exceeds the investment itself. We know that.
It's clear that if Miami is going to continue to be a world-class city, the level of its cultural institutions must also increase with the level of business activity. When a company comes here, they're coming here to stay. They're coming here, in essence, to live, and they're bringing their families, and it has to be a good quality of life that they have to enjoy. The arts, to many of the kinds of companies that we recruit, is a very important part of that quality of life. We see the arts as a lifestyle component, but we also think it has a very real business component to it as well. Clearly, there is a linkage between the Dranoff Foundation as an international competition that has linkages really throughout the very places in the world that Miami is trying to recruit companies from to locate here. So the fact that those artists come here from all over the world, they become familiar with Miami, folks come from all over the world to view that competition, I think underscores what's happening in this community from the business side. So I think it's a perfect match to have that kind of sort of international, high-level competition, well-known, world-renowned organization in the arts located in this growing business international center. We're trying to do more and more to encourage the arts because we understand it's an important part of what we do in marketing this community.
Dear Loretta, a note of thanks. Winning the 4th Dranoff competition in '95 was a turning point in our lives. Since then, we are enjoying a successful career. We were even featured in the Emmy Award-winning documentary Two Pianos, One Passion. We tour the US every year, produce highly acclaimed recordings for major radio and television companies, including a special recording in collaboration with Robert Kraft. We perform in festivals and concerts worldwide and have sold over 1 million CDs. We also remain committed to your vision of being a window for the next generation by playing concerts and organizing and producing musical events. We are honored to contribute to the musical thought and legacy of this unique music. With much gratitude, Jeroen and Maarten van Veen from Holland.
Thank you for allowing us to share the vision of the Dranoff International Two Piano Foundation. We'd like to invite you to become actively involved with the foundation by becoming a corporate sponsor, a patron, or presenting an artist in concert. Please contact me at the foundation to discuss all of these opportunities. And thank you.